Yo, what's up? Max here. I'm sitting here with none other than Dominik Borde, who's a very, very famous relationship coach here in Austria. And he also lived in the United States and one of my big mentors and role models. And I got him in front of the camera. And we're going to be talking about very inspirational start. Okay, how to get inspired to start. Also, how to get started from nothing and climb your way to the top, and how easy it actually is to become an online coach, and many, many other things.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
Thanks, Dominik. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks so much for sharing some knowledge here.
Thanks for having me.
And so for the people who don't know you, so people who live in Austria, Germany, German-speaking market, they do know you. So don't have to introduce you for those, but for the international audience, what do you do? Give us a quick breakdown.
Well, basically, I help people with their relationships, and that could be the relationship to themselves and to others. It's intimate relationships in between couples, but also, firms, teams, stuff like that.
Okay.
So for people to get in better touch with others, that's my job.
Fantastic. Yeah, exactly. And this is, by the way, the main reason I wanted to get together with you is here. One of the most important, crucial experiences in my personal life was going to a seminar of yours. We talked about this off camera. I think it was in 2011 or something like that. And it was also...
I think it was even earlier, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
Somewhere at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a seminar here in Vienna, and I had no idea who the hell you were back then, but everybody said, it's Dominik Borde seminar, you got to go. It's about relationships. It's about, creating new relationships. I was just starting out with my own, dating advice life. I wasn't even thinking about a career yet. And I went to your seminar, and not only did it do wonders for my personal relationships, but it also inspired me to become a coach.
Yeah.
I saw this guy just rocking the seminar room, just being passionate about it, and everybody was listening. It was a 2-day event, I think.
Exactly.
And everybody loved it, and there was so many things outside the box, and I really experienced what true public speaking can do and passion as a coach can do. And somehow within me, I got curious. I'm like, this coaching thing sounds like something really, really cool. And just right off the bat, as the first big lesson here, if you're a successful coach, if you're doing online coaching, online service providing, and if you really add it with passion, you can really change somebody's life.
Absolutely, and I mean that's another thing. I mean, if you have problems, then to present your thing or something like that, don't see it as much as it is part of you. See it as something that you talk about. Like if I talk about success, or if you talk about success, of course we're talking about our own ways, but I mean, to be honest, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Most things, you can find in a book. And then there is people that made it beyond survival and far beyond that, like yourself, or I guess I've made it too beyond survival, right? So, and we didn't reinvent the wheel. We basically took basic ideas, and then made them kind of like our own. Like I speak to my crowd in my language, and you speak to your crowd in your language, and the same thing with your customers. But you don't have to be an expert on something to get started.
Exactly, yeah. It's really just like, I always put it that way, like, because people always think that too. Like in my whole career, in my first business, the dating advice business, I never had a new thought. It was never like I was coming up with this new concept. No, I was just able to package the basics, the real important stuff in a way so certain people could relate better to it, right? My clientele, and that was really
exactly, because that's the most fascinating thing, and that's what I think that I'm really good at, to make a complex idea really simple for someone to understand.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times when I went to a seminar and somebody spoke, I was like, yeah, I understand that. And then there are some times when there is like some energy like goes right through you, pierces through you, because the speaker is talking with passion,
Yeah.
He loves what he says. And I remember when you went out there, and I remember you in the seminar. No, I really remember you in the seminar because there were a few people I remember, and you were one of them,
Nice.
And the reason why I remember you is because you were really into the stuff. You know, you were with the ideas. You were on point. And I think if you want to be successful, of course, it's a good thing if you have talent for it, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing you have talent. And most likely, you will have a talent for something also you really like. I mean, you could be really loving basketball, but you're really short.
Yeah.
You kind of got a problem to start a professional career there. So I think it's important to be real, you know, to be self-aware.
Yeah.
But we totally underestimate what we are capable of, right? And we totally overestimate how much, like I said, you have to know in the beginning to start.
Yeah.
And I think if you're inspired by something, it drives you forward, it pulls you forward, and you're passionate about it. And I guess this is one of the reasons why you went to America, why I went to America. We were young kids. I was inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you were inspired. You do an excellent Arnold Schwarzenegger. I heard you in Kiev.
Definitely, yes. So there's so many interesting things that we could talk about here. You did end up meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes, exactly.
You want to tell that anecdote real quick?
Well, I mean, I can just tell the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, I went over there, right? And I had no idea about America. I didn't hardly speak any English. You know, my English was really bad.
Yeah.
And I went over there, and I was into bodybuilding, right? I wanted to be a bodybuilder. And that was all I talked about. That was what I fantasized about. I wanted to be big. And back then, I mean, that's like 30 years ago, right? So 30 years ago, there was no muscular guys in Austria. So this was like really, really special to look like that. I mean, people didn't walk on the same street with you when you know, it's not like today when, I mean, you would have been a monster back then, you know, but that was the regular Austrian guy, right?
So crazy.
So I wanted to go to America, and in the beginning I didn't know anything about it. And the only thing I knew was Gold's Gym and Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So I went over there, and the taxi driver, he dropped me off at some place, and there were all the bodybuilders working out. And the first thing in the morning, I asked at the desk there, "Where's Arnold Schwarzenegger? Where's Arnold Schwarzenegger? Where's Gold's Gym?" You know, I was all like that. And I ended up knowing where Arnold was going for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I went there every day, right? I went there every day until I finally got a chance to meet him. And I mean, I didn't have much money, right? So I only could afford a coffee, right? So I went in there with the coffee every morning in the Rose Cafe, and then I met him, and I really got to talk to him. And he said, "Well, call me in my office," you know. And I thought, I guess he wanted to get rid of me, you know. But I was persistent, and I guess that's one thing that's also really important. That you stick with something, right? That you don't let somebody block you off right away.
100%.
And that you stick with it. I guess, how does becoming successful in business, okay, and becoming successful as a dating coach relate to becoming successful with women as such? I mean, there is like, you know, there is like something blocking you off, right? And you have to go and
yeah, it's funny because I get that question so many times.
Really?
You know, with the background of the dating advice, and so many people that start working on themselves, dating advice wise, that later on get into business, they're like, it's so many similarities, so many parallels, and it's true. And there's a couple of things that are the same. I would say number one is disregard the status quo. Disregard what everybody thinks is true, because, you know, what do you hear about dating advice out there? You know, be nice, and, you know, make sure that everybody likes you, and, you know, all this watered down BS advice. But in reality, it's about be whoever the hell you are.
Don't be too nice.
Don't be too nice. Have personal boundaries.
Right.
Stick through it.
Yeah.
Because it is often that, you know, we have a crush and maybe we ask our crush out. Doesn't even matter if you're a man or a woman, and maybe the crush says no at the first time, right?
Right.
But if you stay in a good mood, if you don't let it bother you, and you maybe ask them some other time, oftentimes the no turns into yes.
Absolutely.
And then oftentimes too, they come to you and they say, you know what, I was very happy that you tried again. Mm-hmm. How many times have I asked a girl out on a date?
Right.
And she said no. And then, you know, a couple of weeks later, I'd ask again. She said no again. A couple of weeks later, I'd ask again. And then at the third, fourth, 16th time, she said yes. And then on the date, she would look in my eyes and she'd be happy. And she said, you know, I love that you asked me again. Thank you. And it's similarly to getting clients. Oftentimes, we have people that want to work with us and then they're not sure. And I'm not sure if I can do it, and we follow up with them. And at some point they become our clients and they say, thank you for being persistent. With my mentor right now, my business mentors, they had to push me too a little bit. And I'm like, thank you so much for pushing me, because what I've gotten out of this was so much. And usually it's just your own insecurity that keeps you from that. And if someone tries again, all of a sudden you say yes and you notice it's actually really good for you.
I think that that perfection is just hidden insecurity, you know. And a lot of times people, they want to be perfect, you know. It has to be perfect first before they present it. And that was my point in the beginning. If you're just telling somebody about something you know that works, right? Yeah. Or something that you have tried and that you became an expert in by incident, or because you are searching for the information for your client. You know what I'm saying? It's like the way, I became an expert in talking to people I didn't know. I became a Hollywood agent when I was like 18 years old, right? And I didn't know what the I was doing, right? But I was doing it, and I don't think I did it really well, to be honest. But I had a lot of fun, and it was a great experience. And, you know, I was sometimes, to be naive, you know, is really helpful, because, my way on becoming a known relationship person, you know, a relationship expert, so to speak, if I would have known how much work that will be, you know, I would have probably cried and run away, you know. But as you go, do it, and if it is something you like and that you are inspired, it's much less effort. So I think one of the advice I could give to people, if you ask me, and I'm not sure if you agree, same thing as if a girl inspires you. If you really think, you know, that you like this person and that there is something beyond just, you know, winning, right? And you don't, and it's the same thing as trying to get into a company or getting a customer. Okay, you can try a little harder, you can try a different approach, but, you know, don't bother them.
Exactly.
You know? Don't push it too far.
Have empathy.
Right?
That is really, that's the next point that I want to talk about too. Like, empathy helps you a lot. Look, like I was a 20-year-old when I started with my, you know, life as becoming self-actualized. Right. And it was very hard for me back then to be able to read people, to see, is that person uncomfortable now, or are they in a good mood? You know, do I maybe stand a little too close? Maybe I should have to back. Like, well, for me, it was difficult.
As a relationship coach, I can tell you, there's people that are like triple your age and don't know how to do that. So
exactly.
Therefore, if you are
absolutely
skilled, you know,
absolutely, and it's very similar when it comes to business. Like, I think a big reason why I'm successful and why many people become our clients is because I can relate, because I possess empathy. Yes. I know how somebody feels, and not only is that important in the sales process, it's also important in the coaching process. Yes. And the thing is that it's also something that I had to learn. Some clients that you have love it when you kick their ass. When you're like, yo, this is wrong, this is freaking wrong, change it right now, you're a completely wrong path. And they're like, thanks for kicking my ass. Sometimes, though, clients need more positive reinforcement, and you got to come with empathy, and you got to be like, this was not so bad, now let's try it like this better. Right. And understanding what the client needs, this type of empathy really helped me deliver my programs, deliver my coaching even better.
Well, that's why I say, if you're too much on perfection, then you don't like to make mistakes. Yeah. If you don't like to make mistakes, you won't grow. Because this is something I have to try, you know? Exactly. I have to talk to a person and do too much and go overboard, and then the next time I see, okay, well, maybe that was a bit too much, you know? And like, that was one thing that I learned from dealing with celebrities. I mean, and it also depends on what level you come to them. When I met Arnold, I was like a 17-year-old kid. Crazy. So he, of course, forgave me, you know, some things, right? Yeah. And saw my passion.
How old was he back then?
I don't know, how old is he right now? And then you can count back. I'm 48, so that's like 30 years back.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think he must have been like around 20, mid-20s or something. I don't think
Older.
he was much older.
No, he
You
must
think
have been
was
older, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he
okay.
must have been older. But again, 30 years ago, whatever. But anyway, so you also have to have somehow a sense for who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if I'm a young guy, you know, I can ask for help.
Yeah.
If I'm an older guy and I cry like a baby and I'm like, oh, I'm poor and I cannot, you know, and then people, you know, they don't respond the same way. You always have to know where are you and how do people figure you out and what's your position in life, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. And the other thing is to know where's the other person, you know?
Yeah.
Am I getting on their nerves? Am I pushing too hard? Do they need a little pat on the back? Do they need reinsurance? Like if you sell something to somebody, right?
Yeah.
They need to know that it was a good decision or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That they can do it and stuff like that for sure. Now, let's paddle back here a step, because this is also something that I wanted to ask you that I want you, dear viewer, to know as well. So, Dominik, this is something so fascinating. You've been positioned yourself as the expert for, as you said, a lot of famous people here in Austria, and you know, or even outside of Austria. You're literally the go-to guy for many, you know, extremely rich people, for many extremely famous people. And I'm sure a lot of people might think now, like, how the hell did you do that? You know, like, because you were basically someone who was not famous, and you got into that sphere, and now you're the expert for all these famous people.
Well,
how did you do that?
Well, to be honest, most of those famous people don't want that other people know that they know me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So without dropping
like-
names, names.
But the thing is, I guess, you know, wherever you are in life, you need somebody that can relate to your position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that speaks to you eye to eye, and somebody who is not afraid of telling you the truth. And that's the most important thing.
That's especially when you're famous.
Exactly.
Because you don't have people that tell you the truth.
Rich people, you know, they have one big insecurity that, you know, everybody wants my money, right? So they only want to talk to people really that, you know, are not, you know, that where they are not afraid that somebody wants their money. That's one thing, okay?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and everybody tells them, hey, you're super in what you do, you're great, I love you, you know, you're perfect, because they want something from them, right?
Yeah.
So there's one story, there was a guy there, you know, he came to my place and he's really, really, really rich. And he told me, you know, that he thinks that, you know, all the women, they just like him for his money.
Yeah.
And I was listening to him and he told me his story and the way he thinks about life and everything like that. And then after, like, you know, 20 minutes of this, I told him, well, I guess you're right, because there's not much more to like about you, right? And he was like, and he looked at me.
That was like bad.
And he looked at me and he was like, and I said, well, listen, I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to help you. And I said, I'm sure you're a great guy at heart and you mean well, but you're so scared that somebody will take something from you. And, you know, it comes through in everything you say. The way you talk about women, the way you talk about people, you know, I mean, this is out of fear, not out of love, either nor for yourself nor for others. And I think you should change that. And he could take that from me, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't need anything from him, and I didn't respect him for his money or for his value. So I think you should not respect the problems of others, not respect the problems of yourself. You should respect others and yourself and your potential, right? And if you are good at something, or if you're at least interested in something, you can become good at something. And if you're good at something, the struggle on how you did it is something that is of value to others, because you can tell other people. So when you ask me, Dominik, how did you do it to talk to all those people? Well, I just started it. Then I got to know the first person. They introduced me to somebody else. And then somebody heard that I know people that know people, and then other people sent me those people, you know, and I was never afraid of them, and I just did it. I went and talked to Arnold, and I just did it. I became a Hollywood agent, and I just did it. There is no manual on it. There is no guided rules, you know. I mean, you with your clients, you give them rules. You tell them, listen, this is the way you started, which is an even easier way. You know? But sometimes when you're not afraid and you just do something that feels good, it's the right thing to do. And if you're young, especially, you should try everything.
Yeah.
And you should take high risks in order to achieve something in life. And that's what you did, and that's why you're successful, I guess.
Yeah, I love what you said there. So incredible, because it was also for me that naivety that I was just like, hell yeah, I'll go to the States. Hell yeah, I'll assist. Back then I assisted the guys from RSD, and I was okay with not getting paid. I was okay with having to pay my own flights. I was like, hell, whatever. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Right.
At least I could tell myself I tried it. Right? And I always say that too to my clients and to people watching on YouTube. I'm always like, look, the only thing between doing something now and doing something later is that you're pushing your dreams further away from you. You're supposed to walk towards your dreams, not pushing them further away.
Exactly.
And the thing is too, many people wait until everything is perfect.
And that's the biggest problem. Everything that you fear is like if you go to the cold water, right? And you go to the cold water and you're like, oh, it's cold water, and you run away, right? And then you could go again and oh, it's cold. Every time you don't jump, the fear gets bigger. And it's the same thing as talking to a girl, right?
Yeah.
If you wait until it's the right moment and until you know what to say, you're so afraid you won't do it. Exactly, and it's the same thing if you start your business when it feels right. It's never gonna feel just perfect. Okay?
100%, yeah.
Just do the next step. And there's some things you don't need talent for. You don't need talent for, work ethics. You don't need talent for doing what you say you're gonna do. You don't need talent for being punctual. And if you have a great coach, especially online where you have like a real life mentoring like you do, and I'm also starting to do that now with my clients in their relationship themes and whatever they have. If you do that, then you can really, you have not only a plan, but you also have somebody that will kick you in the butt when you need it. How much more comfort do you need? Just do it. And the truth is, there is no better investment in life than in yourself. And why you said that before, you said that you didn't have an idea that you're gonna make a business out of this. You didn't have an idea that you're gonna become really the most dating coach and then have to change it and do something else and make that big and stuff. If you would have asked me with 35 and told me, Dominik, you're gonna become a relationship expert and people gonna know you all over Germany and Austria and Switzerland and in the whole German-speaking market, I wouldn't. There was not even a hint of an idea in my head that this ever is going to take place.
Yeah.
The way it took place was, and if you want to hear the story just shortly, right? I was asked to do dating on television. Okay.
I remember that story. Yeah.
Right. And I did it. And then a guy came and said, well, you're on television now because I did one thing, with dating. Well, you need a website. And I didn't even know what to write on there, right? And then I needed, somehow I said, okay, well, if I have a website, okay. And I called all channels, right? I called like all the radio stations, everybody, right? And I sent them letters. And then somebody wrote me back, and it was the Austrian national TV, right? And they said, well, we need somebody who knows something about, what do you call it? A guy that marries someone and then gets a divorce just for the money. What do you call that?
I don't even know.
So a scam artist with marriage, right?
Yeah.
Heiratsschwindler is the Austrian name. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
scam artist,
but with marriage. No,
yeah.
There's a name, but I don't remember the name. Anyway, and I said, well, of course I know about that, right? So I went into Google, right? And I was like looking for information about, what could I say on TV about this, right? And I said that. And in the end of the show, the lady came to me and said, well, next week we're going to talk about this. Do you know about this as well? And I said, of course. And that's how I started it. Right?
Yeah.
And then I started writing articles and all this kind of stuff. And this is how it happened, right?
I love it. And there's so much, there's so many parallels to how we're doing it nowadays with our clients. Number one, you're not a total expert on that. In fact, you went to Google and Googled it, right? So, and we always tell that to our clients as well. All you have to do is be 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person. You don't need to be a total expert. You don't need no degree, nothing.
Yes. And if you like it, just by doing it, you're gonna become an expert.
Exactly.
Because for me, and I guess this is the same for you, when I talk to you now about business, you're all into it. You want to know about it. You say, okay, well, how can we grow this? How can we leverage this, right?
Yeah.
And when you were into relationship coaching, and I remember back in the seminar, you were passionate about what we did, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this is the quality that if you're inspired by something and you like it and you do more, you are going to have to become an expert.
Yeah.
Because everybody else that does the same stuff and is not inspired by it, you know, life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So sooner or later, you know, they're gonna have the first non-success. They're gonna not get any money of it. And if you're inspired by it, you're gonna go over that. You're gonna do more. You're gonna keep on doing it.
Absolutely.
Also, I always have the analogy to there's those things that goes on the airport, right? Where you can step on with the luggage, right?
Yeah.
And if you do something that it feels well to you, right? That is aligned with your energy, okay? Where you say, okay, wow, this is what I want to do. It's something that pulls you rather than you push towards it, right? And if you go on this thing, you know, and you just stand there, well, then you just by itself, you're gonna go forward, right? Mm-hmm. If you take action, it's gonna go even faster.
Yeah.
Most people live a life where they stand on the other side of this thing and they push against, right?
Yeah.
And you can also come forward this way. But if it's not your thing, if you just stop for 1 minute, you're gonna go all the way back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good analogy for anybody who thinks, what should I do with my life? Do something that feels good. Mm-hmm. It won't feel always good, but it's something that pulls you, that has a great energy that you want to have, like a girl you want to have, something like that.
Absolutely. And before we get to the next point here, before I forget, if you're watching this right now and you say, hey, this Dominik Borde guy is awesome, what can they check out? Any YouTube, any Instagram that they can check out from you?
They can check out my Instagram, Dominik Borde. We're gonna just put my link underneath or something like that. They can if they're in the German-speaking market, they can of course make a free call and we give them a strategy session, whatever they want to achieve in their life,
Epic.
Something like that.
We'll put that
also
link
in
down
English. So
put that link down in the description. Check them out. And on the other thing that I really liked was you said you just reached out to all these stations, TV stations, radio stations.
Right. I just tried something.
Yeah, this is what we call generating leads manually. This is so cool. We teach that our clients as well. We're not doing it with letters. We're doing it with emails and DMs. But what I want to emphasize...
I didn't write letters either, but...
Okay. but I want to emphasize here, Dominik did all these things before social media, before funnels and webinars and whatnot. He did it simply through word of mouth, simply through reaching out to people, and thus creating his first clients. Because nowadays I get so many messages of people thinking they need to have a big brand in order to make money. Oh, I need to get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube first before I can get money. La-di-da. You don't need no social media at all. Some of our clients are complete nobodies. Nobody knows them. Yet they're still able to make 4 to 5 figures a month. They don't have a social media. They don't have a funnel. Hell, most of them don't even have a goddamn website.
You know what I think? I think it's the same thing when somebody starts a business, right? And they're like, the first thing they do is they make a business card, right? That's the first thing most people do. I need business cards, which it's the least of importance, okay? Yeah. I would do the website and everything last, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and the same thing with social media. I guess you can get fancy later, you know? Mm-hmm. Same like if you do a diet, you know, most people, they're like they're, well, how am I gonna lose weight? Well, how hard is it to lose weight? You know, just eat less, you know, than you consume, and you know, I mean, you're gonna lose weight. I mean, the next gym is not that far away, you know, and then you're like, well, I need the running shoes, and I need the right instructor, and I need the right manual. The only thing you need is somebody that stands behind you and, you know, yells run, you know, that's the only thing you need, right? Yeah. And I think with the same thing with the social media and the funnels and everything else, I guess if you do anything well, if you write good copy or if you do good video, I mean, there's never been a time where it's easier to reach out to people. Yeah. You know, I mean, when I started this, I mean, there was the beginning of Facebook. Okay, that was the beginning of Facebook. Okay, like 10, 11 years ago. Okay, that was not the iPhone with all this and stuff. You know, so but we didn't ride on horses our mail, from house to house, okay? So we had some types of communication, right?
Yeah.
But you need just basic human skills. If you talk to somebody, right, and you present them an idea that you're passionate about and that you know that is going to work and that you believe in, and somebody gives you a structure and tells you, okay, this is the way how you can present this idea, and you make a little success, then you're gonna be so happy that you're gonna do another thing and you're gonna make a bigger success.
Exactly.
And before you know it, you're gonna make many, many, many smaller and bigger and even bigger successes. And then you're gonna top all of that. And then, a couple years later or 10 years later, you sit here and you have thousands or hundreds of thousands people that follow you. I mean, It comes step after step.
Exactly. It comes step after step. And then also this is something I also noticed, in my first business, the dating advice business, we would put a lot of emphasis on really high production value when it comes to the videos. I would have a camera crew and 3 different shots and stuff like that. I still do that on this channel as well. You see it often, sure, but often...
Today we're really basic, right?
Yeah, I record half of my videos nowadays with my goddamn iPhone. We're recording this on the iPhone nowadays because, as it turns out, people don't care. It looks nice if you have a camera team and color graded and light and 2 different shots. It looks nice for sure, but it's not necessary. All at the end the client wants to know is...
It's great content.
Exactly. Can you help me, yes or no? Can you give me my end result, yes or no?
Right.
And whether or not you do this from an office all fancy with a suit and 3 cameras and 100,000 Instagram followers, or you do it from a somewhat nice background here in the hotel room and your iPhone, doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it.
I think it's I mean, there's 2 parts to this, right? The one thing is confidence and the other thing is competence, right? Now, I guess competence comes from not being competent for a while, trying out things, making mistakes. You have to go through that. If you want to be a business owner, you cannot do it without failure, you know?
Yeah.
You have to fail, but if you have people like myself in the relationship part of it, or if you want to make your company grow or something like that, or if you have people in the pure business, how to, be an online coach and stuff like him, you're gonna get a lot of competence that you don't have to, have yourself. You can package years and decades into days if somebody gives you value like that, right? And the other thing is the confidence, and that's the more important part. I think part of that is having competence. Once you know something, you're more confident. But the other thing is you're not gonna get confidence by trying not to face fear. So the fear of presenting it, and are people gonna like it, and the fear of getting rejected, and the fear of somebody saying no to you, and the fear of what are your friends say, what does your mother think, what does your teacher, your aunt, your dog, whoever. Listen, I tell you something, okay? Most people, if you do something great, okay, they can feel inspired. But most people will feel small. And so if you feel small, you have 2 ways to go about it. Either, you are inspired and you try to grow and raise to this, or, you try to, put dynamite under it, and blow it up, okay? And that's what most people like to do. And that's the people that, they don't care about you. And people who love you, they want to keep you within their comfort zone, not yours, okay? In their cozy home with mom on the couch, eating cake, or with your friends, smoking weed, which I have nothing against, but if you do it too much, you're not gonna grow your business. Your girlfriend is gonna like you sitting in the couch, being all comfy, not getting in shape, because if you don't get in shape, then, she doesn't feel so bad about her little chubby and stuff. We know all this stuff. But they're gonna get used to if you move your ass. So move your ass, do something, because life is here to be lived, to be enjoyed. And the worst thing is that in the end, and that's what I get with a lot of clients that are older or really rich, they say, and this is a story you heard before, right? I regret that I didn't do it. I regret that I didn't bring up the courage. I regret that I didn't it up. Listen, if things go to shit, if you want to go into shit, then go there and run into it. Do it right, okay? If you fuck it up, great. But do something, because you're never gonna be as young, as powerful, as beautiful as today. So today is the day you start. If you want some great advice, that would be mine. What do you say to that?
I can barely add anything to that, Dominik. I mean, these are similar words that inspired me to start, and it's so crazy. Like, looking back, you'll never regret the failures that you've had. Looking back, you always regret the chances that you never took, right? And
don't you love some of your failures?
I love them.
Like the worst?
I learned the most from them. And I said that just recently to one of my clients. I'm like, yo, I like failure much more because I learn more. When I win, I'm like, yeah, I won. Hell yeah, I'm the best. But I learned a little bit, but not as much. But when I failed really hard, I'm like, God, I'm so stupid. Oh my God, I'll never make that mistake again.
Right.
And that's how I learned. And you know, to slowly wrap things up, you went back in the days to the States, which was way bigger of an adventure than when I went like 6-7 years ago. But back then I also thought I got that opportunity to be a free intern, to work for free, to take my whole life here and stop it here in Austria and move to the States to work for free and everything. And it was not a perfect moment for me. Not at all. I had no income. I had no safety. I had no job. I had no education. I had just quit college. And everything rational within me said, say no for now, go do your thing, build a little bit of a safety, and then see if you can do it.
Right.
But then I told myself, you know what, Max, at some point you're going to die. Whether it's 70, 80, 90 years, you're going to be on your deathbed, or maybe you lie on the street having been hit by a car, and one of the last things you're going to think is, what if? What if you had taken that chance?
Right.
What if you had done it even though it was not perfect?
Right.
And that what if, it within minutes of me thinking that, it grew in my body so strongly that I was so scared of that all the other fears seemed tiny in comparison. Because I'm like, well, what if I fail? All right, I fail. Well, what if I'm an idiot and everybody was going to laugh at me? Whatever.
Right.
But what if I think back and I'll never know what could have happened? That is way scarier than anything else.
Right.
So 2 goddamn weeks later, I was on that flight with 15,000 euros in debt. I had to borrow money and I did it.
Yeah, I mean, but what I think is, I mean, that is exceptional. And I think most people, okay, because that's what I see, you know, most people that come to me as my clients or to you as your clients, I guess, are not that fearless. You know what I'm saying?
Or naive.
Yeah, or
stupid.
that naive or stupid. Okay, fine, yeah. I mean, but actually, I mean, you did a much better job in your beginning than I did in mine, okay? I got better over time, okay? But I had a lot of failures and a lot of bullshit. In everything I teach today, I had failure after failure after failure.
Yeah.
And now I sell it to people because they shouldn't do the same mistakes that I did.
Exactly.
So that's one part of it. So I gotten better, right? But I think the most important thing is that if you have somebody that helps you to invest in yourself, okay? And I mean, this kind of sounds like a sales pitch, you know, for coaching, but it really is. I invested so much money in learning from the best, and every euro, it is worth it. Not because I always heard something new, but if there was one idea, one thing that broke through to me and changed me, that was the best investment I ever made. And I think that's so much more value than, you know, buying yourself a stupid new TV or a new car. The new car. Live in a tent and invest in yourself. I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know? And the worst thing that happens to you is if you're rich, okay? Beware. If you're a rich kid, if your parents have a lot of money, trust me, one day, you know, the money's gonna run out, or something's gonna happen, or you're gonna stand there alone, or they're not gonna care, or somebody doesn't care if you have money or not. Do something where you grow yourself without your parents, okay? Invest in yourself. That's the best relationship advice that I can give you, whether it's a intimate relationship or a business relationship. Make sure that you stand your ground.
Wow. I mean, I love it. I mean, there's so much amazingness to be had out there in this world, and it's not worth it saying no to that just because you're afraid. I always put it that way. The anticipation of discomfort is way, way worse than discomfort itself.
Right.
And, you know, looking at this now, like I have the incredible opportunity to sit next to you to be in contact with you, to be sharing cool stuff with you. And it all started because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and you're here because you stepped out of your comfort zone, because you and I both still to this day invest in ourselves, and it's never going to stop it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really, really nice way to wrap it up. So when you're watching this now and you've been inspired to take action, when you're sick and tired of this,
action.
Yeah, when you're sick and tired of the status quo, you want to be free, you want to become your own boss, you want to become a successful online coach such as Dominik here or me, then you got something pretty cool, because you can also jump on a literal free consultation call either with me or on an expert from my team. All you have to do for that is click that link in the description below. Obviously, you can check out Dominik's stuff as well, which I highly recommend. And click that link in the description below. It brings you to a page. Read what's on that page, because it's important information for you to start. And at the bottom of that page, you fill out the application. You can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you, and we'll help you get started, okay? So if you already have a skill, you're already good at something, and you say, yo, I want to monetize that, give us a call. We can help you with a strategy. But also, if you don't know quite yet what it is, but you do know, yo, I've been inspired by Dominik and Maxi, I want to do something, you're not quite sure what it is, give us a call nonetheless, because we can analyze your strengths, we can help you get started. But it's important to take action. I don't know how long we've been talking now. Don't let this be a waste of your time, because it is, unless you take action. Execute, be inspired, take action, and maybe talk to you very, very soon. Dominik, thank you so much for this excellent talk. See you very, very soon. GG.